Aren't you going to mingle, Mr. Wolf?
I do not care for telepaths. They make me uneasy.
No, don't worry. The Cairn couldn't read your thoughts even if they wanted to. Your brain isn't sophisticated enough.
Hello everyone, welcome back to Fully Functional, a TNG podcast. I'm Maggie, joined by Jeff and Dory.
Yo.
Jeff and I are veteran Trekkies, and Dory is a newly minted full Trekkie. And we are taking her on her first journey through Star Trek The Next Generation. We continue our journey through the home stretch through Season 7. We're discussing the episode Dark Page today. Original air date October 30th, 1993. And as always, we'll take it to Dory for the recap.
Okay, so we start off with Luxana Troy is here. We love it. We love to see her. Mm-hmm. And she's here because she is like helping a new group called the Cairn join the Federation, but they are a telepathic species and they don't have spoken language. They like do telepathic pictures, which I feel like is an interesting way to communicate. Anyways.
Yeah. Well, they communicate through, like, rather than like doing words, they communicate through images is basically the thing.
Yeah. I think that's an interesting concept.
Yeah, it is a very cool sci-fi concept. I wish they explored it more.
I can't picture how that would be to like in terms of like, you know, having a conversation, otherwise just like flashing pictures in each other's head. Mm-hmm. But I think it's like an interesting concept. And so Luxana is teaching them how to, I guess, be verbal. And it's still a bit of a struggle, but they're learning. And we love a try. We love an attempt. So we kind of start the episode. She's talking to Troy, not to Troy. She's talking to Picard, and Luxana says, "Actually, it's a very efficient way of communicating. If two Karen were having this conversation, it would have been over minutes ago." And Picard goes, "Really?"
Yeah,
he really wants to leave this conversation. Mm-hmm. So Luxana suggests that Picard go mingle, and the Karen need to practice for joining the Federation in a couple days. So Geordi is explaining his visor to a little girl, and I initially misunderstood what their head situation was, and I just thought she had like a device on the side of her head. It's really just like side head brain or something. And who is this small child? One might ask. None other than Kirsten Dunst, which was like
Kirsten, yeah.
Fuck yeah, like. Plot twist.
Mm-hmm.
This was one of her first noticeable roles,
because like I knew she was in, like, I've seen Interview with a Vampire bajillion years ago, so like I knew she acted as a kid, but like I've also seen Jumanji. I mean, no, Jumanji was a bit later, but like she was great in this episode though too, so like good job to her. So she plays, her character's name is Hedril, but let's be honest, I'm going to call her Kirsten this whole time. So
that's fair.
Luxana asks where Troy is, but Luxana has like a moment kind of hesitation, or like you could see something is like something's wrong, but she says she's fine. So then Luxana goes up to Riker and Worf, and she goes, "Aren't you going to mingle, Mr. Wolf?" And the amount of restraint Worf pulls in that moment, honestly, impressive. Yeah. That's character growth for Worf. He just lets it go. And he's like, yeah, I'm like kind of, he's like, whatever. But Worf says that he's uneasy around telepaths. And she's like, oh, don't worry. Your brain isn't sophisticated enough for us to be like interested in your brain or whatever.
Basically, don't worry, you're a dumbass.
And Riker laughs and she's like, oh, don't worry, yours isn't either. And then Riker just turns like, what? How dare? But then she's like, also, they can only really communicate with telepaths in that way, so don't worry about it. You guys are fine. So then Troy comes in the room in a pink to indigo gradient, sort of like one side off the shoulder dress, and she looks great, of course. And Luxana introduces her to the guy. He's basically Kirsten Dunst's dad, and his name is Maquis. That's how I'm pronouncing it. People said his name differently. Every single person said his name differently in this episode.
Yep.
So I thought
it's
he
not
looked
very
familiar,
important.
but then I IMDb'd him. Yeah. And I do, and I've seen shows that he's been in. I do not actually recognize him. I think maybe he looks like someone else.
Yeah.
Anyways.
He does look very familiar.
Yeah. So he is very pleased to meet Troy, to be fair, who wouldn't be? And he says to her, "Your mother told me of your need." And Troy goes, "Need?" And then Maquis goes, a moment. Husband. You need a husband. I need a wife." And Troy just has a look on her face that she's like, "I'm going to go drown myself. I'm going to go right, like, walk into space right now." It is, man, I feel for her in that moment. So now we cut to Luxana doing a walk and talk with Troy down the hallway of the Enterprise. And they get into a lift with this other guy. And Luxana starts to, like, talk to Troy, continue this conversation telepathically. But Troy is, like, not having it. And out loud, she just goes, "Mother, stop it." And the guy that's in the lift with them is like, "What the fuck is going on here?"
I'm sorry to interrupt, but I went to go look up the guy who played what's his face in this episode.
Maquis, yeah.
Maquis. I'm sorry, but his name is Norman Large.
Yes. Yes, it is.
Yeah. Also, on IMDb, it says
Wow.
he's known for Mamma Mia, and Mamma Mia, Here We Go Again.
He is? Who's he in Mamma Mia?
I don't
Mamma Mia,
know.
Here We Go Again. I've seen both those movies. I've seen the first Mamma Mia a startlingly amount of times. Okay, wild. Well, he was honestly pretty great in this episode. He did a really good job. He was intense.
Oh, he was in a couple episodes of DS9.
Oh, wild.
Oh, yeah.
My biggest...
Fuck, who did he
Said
play?
he was like a Romulan.
Yeah. I remember that. He's, he was a good one.
Oh, and he's
if
in
I recall.
Voyager. He's an Ocampa man in Voyager.
Oh, I don't remember that. It must have been the beginning of
Yeah.
the show because there's so few Ocampa in the series.
Anyway,
Okay, so
sorry.
then Luxana
I
puts
just-
her... No worries.
I couldn't
No worries.
I couldn't not mention that his name is Norman Large, and that he's
That
known
is
for
a
Mamma
wild
Mia.
name. That's hilarious. So Luxana, she's in pain and she puts her head in her hands and it's not great. So Troy leads her out of the lift. Luxana tells her, "You are so precious to me. You're all I've got. If something happened to you, I don't know what I would do." And I just wrote, then Troy says, "Nothing is going to happen to me." And then I wrote immediately, feels like foreshadowing. But also everything horrible has already happened to Troy. So
Yeah.
I feel like I hope for basically smooth sailing at this point. Nope. Troy's okay. My bottom line is Troy's okay.
Yeah.
But holy shit. Okay, so then Maquis is waiting for Troy in her in her office, and apparently we learn that Luxana is the first person outside of the Karen species to be able to communicate with them. She will do this kind of telepathy, but he does mention that there's like a part of her when he's trying to communicate with her that is dark. And Troy's like, "What?" And she's like, "Yeah, it can't be seen." And she initially kind of like interprets it to mean like maybe it's privacy. It's just like things that she doesn't want anyone else to see. And this is kind of different for the Karen because they're very blunt. They like everything's out in the open with them. But Troy's like, "Yeah, this is like normal, all good." So then she goes to have a drink with Riker and telling him about her mother, like, and she's like sensing erratic emotions from her. And also her clothes are way more toned down than normal. I did actually notice that. I was like, it's lots of like dark colors for someone who loves a jewel tone. So
Yeah.
then Riker suggests talking to her about it. And then immediately Loxana comes in to tend forward and she just starts screaming. So Riker has his hand on Troy's hand and she just starts screaming for Riker to take his hands off her, off Troy, and that she would be married by now if it wasn't for him and for him to stay away from her. And I was like, oh, shit. That's embarrassing. Oh, boy,
Yeah.
that's sucks. Yeah. So Troy takes Oksana to see Dr. C, and Oksana asks Troy to apologize to Riker for her. I'm like, yeah, for sure that he deserves an apology. So Dr. C is like, well, Oksana appears fine, but her psilocybin, whatever,
It's
this level
something
in
they
her-
made up for this. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a part of her brain that it's the neurotransmitter involved in telepathy. It's been depleted by her work with the
Yeah,
Cairn.
it's telepathy juice. It's telepathy juice.
Yes.
Yeah.
The serotonin of telepathy.
Yeah.
Yeah, so Dr. C is like, prescribes no more telepathy for a bit.
Can we just call it psychotonin?
Troy's like, psychotonin. So Troy's like, listen, Mom, I will help you, and we can do this the old-fashioned way, verbally. And her mom's like, oh, okay, fine, I guess. So we're now in the Arboretum. It's true. There's two kids. This is so bizarre to me. There's two children, maybe 3 feet from each other, just rolling a ball back and forth. These are, I was like, you couldn't have them do literally any, like, they're not 4. These were like children who looked at like 8, 9 years old. They're not babies. Why are they? Listen, whatever. It's not important. I just was like very caught off guard by that. It was strange. So Troy brings Kirsten Dunst, Maquis, and 2 randos into the Arboretum. To rando Karen into the Arboretum, and Troy quotes a poem, and Maquis is like, he pricks himself on a rose, and then he asks what a poem is, and Troy explains poetry, and that the reference to the poem she quoted, and then
Milton, I think it
there's
was.
like someone says heaven.
Yeah, because he pricks himself on the rose. She quotes a line from the poem. She explains what a poem is, and then she says, Milton, the poet, she says he was, he theorized that in heaven roses don't have thorns, and then he asks, what's heaven? Yeah.
So Kirsten Dunst asks what heaven is, and then I just wrote, we don't have time to answer this question. And Troy's on, like, Troy gets it. She struggles to answer this as a question, but then they're like, oh, okay, we get it now, because Loxana sends an image telepathically to the Cairn. I am so curious to know what she sent them, because that is not an easy answer. Like, that is, I guess, just what her version of heaven is, which I don't even know what that would even be. So, like,
Yeah, I mean, you can sort of explain what the concept of a heaven is. It's just like,
I mean, I guess so. But it looks, it's a hard thing to sort of like break down, especially for people who have no sort of context of, I guess, what it's from. But
that's the point. That's why they chose like a hard concept, so that Loxana would sort of feel really compelled to just explain it to them in the best way she knew how to. So I think that's why they chose such like a complicated question.
That's fair. Yeah, that's a good point. That's a good point.
I'm definitely with you on that.
Okay, so Troy is now showing the adults a flower, and then Kirsten Dunst slips and falls into the pond very briefly, but like she's fine. And then
the water's only like it's not even knee high.
It's like it's super, super shallow. She's totally fine. And then they turn and see Loxana is on the ground. So Dr. C, she's unconscious. Dr. C says it appears there's no neural activity in the brain. The brain has just been like, I'm done for now. They're closed for the business at the moment. Except the paracortex activity that is like fucking skyrocketing, and that is the part of the betazoid telepathic lobe. Yeah. So Troy points out that she last communicated with Maquis right before she went unconscious. So that was like probably the last. What's the word? What's the?
Oh, that was like what triggered it, or the catalyst?
Yeah, I guess there's like a certain thing I'm thinking of, but it doesn't matter. Yep. So Picard suggests like this could be a possible side effect from Karen telepathy. So Troy, Picard, and Maquis talk around. I don't know if I think this is Maquis's like guest room, possibly.
Yeah.
So they're standing. Picard is standing. Troy and Maquis are sitting at the table. On the table, there is a massive bowl of
like
food
fruit and vegetables.
that is.
Yeah.
It is.
I knew you'd notice that. Like.
It
I
is
knew
such
you'd
a
point this
wild
out.
choice. Yep. I did note that there's pomegranates. There looked like it was eggplants. There were these round,
there was like those like really
yellow,
long green beans and shit.
Yeah. There were these like green oval things. There were possibly tomatoes. And yeah, the green beans looked crazy. I don't know if they are green beans or not, but they looked.
Yeah, there
long.
are a species of green beans that are super long. So.
Okay. Yeah, but this like like I said set deck because I don't touch it, but like what a wild choice. What an absolute wild decision. It is framed.
Yeah, the way the shot was framed as well, it's just like really showing off this bowl of vegetables.
The directing in this episode is really strange to me because like the director is actually a seasoned Trek director. He had done like 30 TNG episodes, including Tapestry. So like he's done some pretty heavy stuff. But the directing in this episode is a combination of weird and a lot of it is just really boring too.
Yeah, maybe he was having an off week. Maybe he was just like, oh fuck, I'm not super into this script. I'll just do whatever. You know.
Could be that they were rushed too.
Yeah.
Yeah, it just truly wild choice to have this particular setup. So they're chatting, and Maquis doesn't think that there's a side effect, but from the telepathy, but her illness may be caused by the bad thoughts. And Troy's like, what? But he doesn't really have he doesn't really know how to like the words to explain to her. So he starts to like speak to her telepathically. I did not like that he didn't give her any kind of warning or ask or anything. He just, and the thing is, I thought he was going to be the bad guy because when he started the telepathy shit and the way that he got so intense with that stare.
This episode tries really hard to make him look like the villain. And then after it turns out that for the first time that he's not the villain, it tries again and again and again. And it's almost like the director fucking went to this guy and is like, okay, I need you to stare at the camera as sinister as possible.
Yeah.
You know what it feels like?
Wild choice.
It
What's that?
feels like something that got lost in a rewrite. Like there was maybe at one point the script was like way more trying to fake you out with that he was the bad guy, or maybe there was a version where he was the bad guy and just like through rewrites like
possible.
Some of those elements got like left in there a little bit, but it's like it's kind of not there's not enough of it for you as like maybe this is just because I know the ending, but I don't feel like there's enough of it for you as the viewer to like really truly kind of believe that this guy was going to be the bad guy. At least after the first time it's revealed he wasn't trying to do anything bad. After that, they try to fake you out again, but they haven't given you enough to be like to believe it. You're just like, oh, I know he's not gonna. I guess Dory would be the best qualified of us to say whether that was.
I did write down. Yes, I did actually note this.
So the next time that it fakes you out is when he shows up in the dark room, and Troy is sleeping there, and she's just like, lights, and he's staring at her, and she's like, what are you doing? And then suddenly it cuts to commercial, and I'm like, can this episode decide if he's the villain or not? For the record, just a bit of background before we continue. This episode has gone through many rewrites. In that the first concept of it was actually a Dr. Crusher story that had nothing to do with Deanna or Luxana at all.
Interesting. Yeah.
Yeah. Like, it's gone through, it was a Dr. Crusher story, it was a LaForge story, it was a Crusher and Troy story, it was a Luxana saving Deanna story. It's been everything. It'd been kicking around for years.
Wow. All right. So Dory, did you believe the second fake out?
I did write in my notes at some point that I thought he was like doing this. I don't remember where though. So when we come to my notes at that part.
Yeah. We've jumped ahead a little bit. But yeah.
Yes.
But this is the first time they fake you out, that make him look bad.
Yes. And I think it's just the intensity of that stare.
Yeah.
Because like when he's doing it here, so then like and Troy's initial reaction to it, because she just has to stare. The face card in this episode. Troy's face card. Everything's free for her.
I think people in this episode did a really good job with the telepathy acting and the facial expressions, because I
yes,
I bought it. I never had any sort of like issue, it I didn't even notice. It's not till after that I thought oh yeah, they're actually, while they're acting, they're not actually hearing this shit, you know? Like, yep. there might be a PA reading off screen, but you know what I mean.
Yeah. Okay, so when Maquis is communicating with Troy, she hears a lot of like screeching animals, and he continues to stare at her, and then Picard is just like, okay, bitch, okay, stop. But she says she's okay, but she still doesn't really understand what he's talking about. So,
because earlier in the episode,
he sent her a bunch of images.
Yeah, because Loxana says at the beginning of the episode that that's how they communicate. Like, they send all the images all at once, so it's very overwhelming.
Yeah, so Troy wasn't exactly... She has to sort of, like, think, like, piece by piece what she was, in fact, looking at. And so then she says, she misunderstood earlier when Maquis said that there was a dark place in Loxana's mind. But he actually saw something happening in her metaconscious mind. So the metaconscious mind is a part of the Beta Z psyche, and it's a kind of filtering mechanism that protects them from psychic trauma.
Yeah.
I mean, sure.
Hasn't done a great job so far, but...
yeah, literally, yeah. And Luxana may have experienced some kind of trauma that her metaconscious just like can't tolerate. So then Dr. C is like what
I'll compare that to is like your brain has the ability to filter out sounds, right? Like if you're in a noisy room, some people have more trouble with it than others, but if you're in a noisy room and you're trying to hear like one specific person, for the most part, your brain can kind of get there and isolate that one person. So I think that's sort of the same thing with the psychic shit, where it helps you like filter out all the noise and stuff, so you're not like super overwhelmed and shit.
So Dr. C is like, oh, the results of this scan won't be ready until the morning, or the scan of Luxana's brain. So like, for now, just like go rest. But Troy is going to stay with Luxana in sickbay and try to reach her mother telepathically. And I'm like, have you not tried this already? That feels like the bare minimum first thing that you would have done. So I don't know if it seems like the first time that they're trying this, which to me is kind of wild.
Yeah.
But Troy is able to hear Luxana say, help me, like in the distance. And, but she just like falls asleep then, like not immediately, but then like we cut to that her sleeping, and then Troy turns on, she hears a noise, she wakes up, she turns on the light, and Maquis is just like standing in the room looking guilty as fuck. Like, he truly looks like a deer in the headlights. Like, he's been caught red-handed.
Yeah.
Like, doing something real fucking shifty. But everyone immediately...
Because he was
this is when... Because I was like...
Yeah.
It was the fact that everyone just, like, benefit of the doubt. He's like, yeah, I was just... They're like, what are you trying to do? And he's like, I was just trying to, like, help. I'm like, what the fuck do you mean?
They're like, oh yeah, fair enough.
What the fuck
fair
do you
point.
mean?
Trying to help.
Yeah, everyone's like, okay, sure. Good point, man. We'll take it. We'll say, yeah. So, Maquis can't really explain what he, like, wants to do or something, so he reaches out to Troy telepathically, and Maquis is like, thinks that Luxana's psyche has collapsed in on itself for some reason, and she's like retreated into the meta conscious mind. So Maquis is like able to access images being generated by her metaconscious mind, but he can't really make any sense of them. So he didn't understand what the images meant. The faces he didn't recognize, events he couldn't interpret. So Dr. C is like, hey, if maybe we deciphered those images, maybe we'd be able to determine what the fuck's going on here.
Yeah.
And Maquis is like, yeah, I can do it. And Troy's like, I'll do it. Maquis can like be the link that, hooks them up together so she can understand and interpret things.
Yeah.
So Picard then asks, like, real question here. If your mother's psyche has collapsed in on itself, could accessing her mind pose any danger to you? And Troy's like, I don't know.
Yeah.
But we're gonna fucking try. And then Maquis does the staring thing, and it's again so fucking sinister. And so now we cut to Troy walking around the Enterprise, and she hears growling, and then she hears Luxana shouting, help me, in the distance. We hear more growling, and we hear splashing. And then Picard just, like, appears.
Yeah.
And at one point I was like, honestly, it doesn't surprise me that Picard would be in her conscious. Because at one point she was super into Picard back in the day.
Yeah, yeah.
And Troy asks him if this is him talking to her from sickbay, and he's like, yeah, he wants her to sever the connection to her mother. And Troy's like, why don't you ask Maquis to do that? Because, like, I'm actually not doing that. He's the one who's, like, controlling right now. But Picard is like, he's like, yeah, but I'm asking you. But Troy is not falling for this shit. And she's like, no, because you wouldn't be asking me. You'd be asking him. Because he's the one who's in charge of the separation. And if you told him to separate, he would do that. So, bullshit. And then we see a wolf.
Yeah.
And Troy is like, none of this is real. And then proceeds to run away from a wolf. So she makes it to this room where her dead dad is. So we finally have met Ian after all these years. And Troy is just like, because immediately she's just run from this wolf, and she's like, but she's going to question the shit out of her dad.
Yeah.
She's like, even though all this isn't not real, I'm going to run like fuck from this wolf. But Dad, you're full of shit.
Yeah.
But I don't believe you.
I mean,
I think
it is easier for it to feel real when it's like a dangerous situation, right? Because
it just was funny that.
Yeah.
Because, like, before that, she's like, yeah, this isn't real, and then runs away from the wolf, and then immediately is like, yeah, this isn't real. Like, Troy, you're funny.
Yeah.
Troy, so the sort of setup is that they're in, like, a home that they lived in Beta Z for at one point when Troy was a baby, and she's like, I don't remember these toys. And I'm like, yeah, because you were a baby.
Yeah.
Why would you remember these toys, Troy? But I'm like, whatever. So then I got such a laugh at this. Troy's dad is like, yeah, remember when I used to sing Down in the Valley? Mm-hmm. Here's the thing. I'm very familiar with the song Down in the Valley.
Yeah.
But the version I know is sung by Otis Redding.
Yeah.
And it is a very, very, very different vibe than when Ian was singing.
Yeah.
And I was like, wow. Because the way I know this song is wildly, like, just not
different?
a song you sing to your child.
Yeah.
but I mean, there's worse things, I guess, but I was just like, this is actually a very hilarious song choice to sing to your child, but
Yeah.
whatever. And Ian's like, oh wait, he wants her to stay, I think, but she's like, I'm gonna go. I can't, like, he's like, we can hang out, but she's like, no, we can't fucking do that. You're a distraction.
Yeah.
And she leaves, and my God, the acting from Marina Sirtis in this episode
She's phenomenal.
is like, where's that
Yeah.
Emmy? Because that she was excellent.
Yeah,
So,
for anyone
then we
listening who
hear-
doesn't remember, like, her father died when she was young.
when she was 7,
Yeah, when she was
they
seven.
say
she
7.
actually-
I didn't realize she was that young.
Yeah. So she's going through Luoxana's mind, and Luoxana's using the memory of her dad to distract her. And he's like, please, we'll never have this chance again. Like, come talk to me and stuff. And it's like, we'll figure out later, like, why Luoxana was, like, so protective of this part of her that they're searching for. But, like, it is a very fucked up, like, very intense, like, psychological move to put on someone. Being like, I am
Yeah.
going to try to distract you with your dead father begging to just spend a little bit more time with you. Like, that's crazy. Like, that's intense.
It's
Yeah.
fucking heart-shattering is what it is.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. And in the scene, like, Troy's eyes they're so expressive, and then at one point you could see, like, she's not crying, but she's about to cry. Like, the water, like those eyes are like on the brink.
Yeah.
It is like, honestly, so, like, intense. Okay, so now we hear she leaves. She gets out of the room, leaves her dad behind, and we can hear now, like, liquid flowing. And then we see Kirsten Dunst in the hall, which, like, in and of itself, that is kind of a funny sentence.
Yeah.
We see Kirsten Dunst in the hall. Luoxana is then shouting for Troy to get away from there.
Yeah, she like, so Kirsten Dunst is, like, in the hallway on her own, and Troy, Deanna starts to approach her, and then from out of nowhere behind her, like, Luoxana comes charging up, screaming. It's very intense. It's very, like, raw.
So Troy then, like, sits up awake, and she speaks with Kirsten Dunst, and Kirsten Dunst says that, like, she thinks that she made Luoxana sad, but we have no idea, like, what is actually wrong, like, what she would have done. Like, things have not narrowed down. We don't know what's going on still.
Yeah.
So Dr. C thinks it's got to be a traumatic event. I think we kind of established that's why, like, there's so much protection set up here. So Troy reaches out to our favorite alcoholic, Mr. Hom at Beta Z, to send over Luoxana's personal logs and journals. And Data's like, we might be doing this a little too literal, but here's some of my dream interpretation stuff. But Troy's like, yeah, a child could represent vulnerability. Honestly, none of this matters. It's not the vulnerability, like, the dream representation is not it at all.
Yeah, because
It's not
honestly, the
related at all.
answer, the answer is not totally literal, but it's pretty close to literal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
It's not as interpretive as Data is theorizing.
yeah. So Troy goes through her mom's stuff and finds what I'm assuming it's a strand of her hair. It's like a long,
my
curly,
parents
brown
did that shit.
hair.
Yeah, my parents did that shit too, where they kept, like, the hair from my first haircut, sort of thing.
Party.
Yeah. Parents collect weird shit.
My mom full out admitted she had our teeth
Yeah. My
up
parents
until, like,
also,
not that long ago.
My parents also had our teeth.
She kept our teeth in a box up until, like, not that long ago, which is kind of wild. Like, what did like, one tooth, like, but, like, all of our teeth? What are we gonna do with all that? Like, just, anyways, listen, I'm not a parent. What do I know? Yeah, so she looked through her mom's stuff, and Picard comes in and tells Troy that Luoxana's condition's getting worse, so we gotta sort of find something quick. And so Troy says, I've gone through all her belongings. I've read her journal for the last 5 years. And other than the fact that I'm not married yet, nothing bad seems to have happened to her. And then I wrote, this is just a very elaborate scheme for Troy to get married. So when Lwaxana wakes up. And so Troy she's done like everything she can. She's read all these journals and shit. And then Picard suggests reading like more journals going farther back, like to the first one. And he sits down with Troy and I'm like, I feel like Picard should not be the one looking at her personal journals.
Yeah.
It seems kind of invasive. Like Troy is one thing, but Picard seems a little invasive. I know he doesn't have any like, ill intent towards it, but like
I'll give it a little bit of a pass for the circumstances, because it's like they're running out of time, it's an emergency,
but like I wouldn't really want my daughter's boss looking through my diary.
Actually, during that scene, I was very like I hadn't seen the episode in a very long time because I tend to skip this one since it's pretty heartbreaking.
It's a real bummer.
It's a bummer.
Oh my God.
But no. So the thing about the episode is that in that moment I was like, wait a minute, is this a fake out? Is she actually still in her mother's mind? And
you know
everyone's
what? I
trying
was
to
thinking
distract, because they've done that before.
I was thinking the same thing. As soon as like when she's going through her mom's stuff and Picard came in the door, I'm like, is this another weird like mind trick thing? Like I had the same thought.
I mean, the episode set a precedent for that.
It did, yeah.
Okay, so we learned like the oldest journal entry is when Lwaxana got married. Then there's a year, and then there's a 7-year gap. Yeah. And the 7-year gap, we don't really like there were journals, but they were deleted. So and they restarted a few months after Troy's birth. Yeah. So she deleted them at like 3 years ago. So Troy's like, okay, with this information, something happened in those 7 years, and we're gonna go back fishing in her mind. So, all right. So now, wait, is this? No, this is part of the thing. Okay, I was reading this and I'm like, wait a minute. Okay, so we're in the hallway in Lwaxana's mind, and Kirsten Dunst because I thought I wrote Worf, but I wrote Wolf. That's why I was like, why would Kirsten Dunst and Worf be hanging out?
Mr.
I don't remember that scene. So sorry, it's Kirsten Dunst and this wolf just like sort of hanging out. And then I did notice that Kirsten Dunst was wearing brown contacts, which was kind of weirdly uncanny valley on her. And so Kirsten Dunst and the wolf turn into this like hallway, and then it's like a door open to space. And Troy stands in front and then hears like, help me, and then she jumps off into space, and Troy lands in the Arboretum.
She did her own stunt for that one.
Oh, they went up into space and
and she jumped
literally into space.
Arboretum?
She jumped it's like an open thing with a green screen, and she jumped onto a mattress, but she insisted on doing her own stunt for it.
Nice. Okay, so we're in the Arboretum, and Troy looks into the pond, and her reflection is Kirsten Dunst. And there's like a small splash, and she hears footsteps outside the room, and then we see Lwaxana, and she's telling Troy to go away, and Troy goes to her, and Lwaxana is stressed. Yeah. And then we learn truly. Yeah. Okay, so then we meet Kirsten Dunst becomes a little girl named Kestra.
Yeah, and it's an actress that looks a lot like baby. Kirsten Dunst, but isn't Kirsten Dunst.
But at this point, it's still Kirsten Dunst. Yeah. But she's supposed to be
do not
like a representation.
But it is a different actress.
Yeah. Is it a different actress in that scene?
No. It is. No, it's still Kirsten Dunst. No, not yet. She changed. She changes at the end.
Yeah, they changed halfway through the scene.
This is still It's still Kirsten Dunst.
Yeah,
so we also have a cute dog,
and
so we have this Kirsten Dunst who's representing a little girl named Kestra, and then there's a really cute dog and a very cute baby. And Troy kind of realizes, and she encourages her mom to confront this memory. And so what happened, this really got me, is the dog pulled away Kestra, who, as it turns
Kestra
out,
was holding on to
was
the leash.
Troy's older sister. And Kestra, they both went into the water, and for, context clues, and we see Ian after wet, that she drowned.
Yeah, because they don't directly show you what happens. Because the situation is, let me just lay it out. The situation is the family's at a picnic. Kestra is holding on to the dog's leash, and it's like just a cute little like family dog. And then Ian is doing something. Loxana is distracted trying to get baby Deanna to like calm down because she's crying. We hear a bunch of barking, and then Loxana says that the dog gets loose, and then they don't really explain what happened after that. What's implied is that like Kestra went into the water and drowned. So that's like sort of the whole scenario there. And they do a really good job not showing you directly what happened, but giving you enough that you can like figure it out.
Yeah, we see a bit of an aftermath where Ian is wet, so you can kind of deduce.
I agree that they give you a good job, but I thought it was a very weird choice considering how much the episode, one of its themes is like whether to directly say something or not because of privacy and all of that. But I just found it very.
It's still, here's why I don't find it a weird choice. Here's why I find it a really good choice, or why I like the choice, is because like the main theme of the episode is to like confront this traumatic memory, but like also from my own experience in therapy is like confronting those memories don't have to be like 100% confrontation like of every little detail, right? So like,
yeah, that's fair.
I think it makes sense that that's as much as she would be capable of confronting it in that moment. It's still like a pretty big deal that she revealed what happened, even in this like really indirect way.
Yeah, that's true.
So that's why personally I kind of like the way they did it. But
Me too.
Yeah. Because I don't think the episode, at least to me, it did not come off as the episode's main thrust was to be like, well, I guess it was like honesty, but not in like.
Okay, I guess it's more not so much a theme as it's a main plot point for the first half of the episode. It is like direct communication.
Yeah, that's true. But I don't like, I think it's more about honesty than to being like literal, like we have to know every little detail sort of thing. I think it's just general about,
for the record, I'm not
about honesty.
Yeah, I'm not disagreeing with the choice. I just thought it was a strange one to make given the way that the rest of the episode told itself. Also, especially given how rarely TNG does anything subtly.
Yeah, true. Yeah. I don't know. I mean, I just don't. I don't know. I just didn't see it that way.
Okay.
To be honest, like I didn't think it like, to me it did not come off as weird.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't think I'd want to see more, honestly.
Yeah.
So,
but you must.
Yeah, so no, I don't must. I was already very wrecked
You don't
learning
must.
this information.
And like, do like I think we've undersold like how fucking devastating this scene is, because like the acting is fucking incredible, and it's like so horrifically tragic, and it's also like, okay. I mean, it's still traumatic, but in terms of like TV giving women trauma, this is a weird thing to say, but it's oddly refreshing that it doesn't have to do with something involving like SA. It's just like like, you know, a different scenario that's equally as like devastating as like a parent losing a child. Yeah, so it was nice to have I don't know, just that exploration, and like I really just appreciated giving Loxana that layer to her.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah. So Troy sits down. Look. We leave that space, and now we cut to a different scene, and they're sitting together, and Loxana's wearing, more fun. Oh no, they're still in the room. Actually, just kidding. I think they're still in the arboretum. Yeah. So Troy is like, I just found out I have a sister, and I want to learn about her. She wants to celebrate her life, not mourn it. And Troy tells Loxana to tell Kestra how she feels. And then we morph from Kirsten Dunst into a different child actor.
Yeah.
And Loxana apologizes and hugs Kestra, and then she goes into the light, I guess. And and Troy comforts Loxana. So now back in sick bay, Troy and her, they're oh my gosh, when they come out of the thing, they're holding hands together, which is very cute. And then so now in another scene, Loxana's wearing like one of her jewel-toned outfits, love, and she shows Troy a photo of Ian with both daughters. And Troy asks her mom to tell her everything about Kestra. And it is just so... what a heart... I actually, honestly, going into this, I thought that Loxana was going to die.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
I never would have seen it coming.
We are towards the end of TNG, so that would be doable. Also, I want to point something out.
I did not expect this.
I want to point something out about this, but the... what do you call it? The last, the last appearance that Loxana made was, I believe, before Gene Roddenberry's death, and the next appearance that she makes is dealing with death per the episode.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, because that actress was married to Gene Roddenberry.
Yep.
The person who plays Loxana. Oof, that's rough.
Yeah. She's also the voice of the computer. Good times.
Yeah. I think we've mentioned this before, but because I think she was sick for a pretty long time, or like relatively long time. So before she passed away, she actually recorded a bunch of what's it called?
Phonetic.
Like a bunch of phonetic sounds and stuff. Like she recorded her voice and stuff so that it could keep using her as the computer in perpetuity.
And yet nobody's done it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's very strange. I'm not really sure why.
That's actually really sad.
Yeah,
it is. It could just be that the recordings aren't actually good enough to use in that way. Like no one's really sure. In the end, we don't know the quality of them, and it also could just be an urban legend. Who knows?
Oh yeah, could be. I guess. I thought that was confirmed. I didn't realize there was a question about whether that happened or not.
Like, if it is confirmed, this is something that. It's important to remember about the ownership of Star Trek has like bounced around so much over the last like 25 years.
Oh yeah, and
so, like,
maybe there's a weird thing where one company still owns her recordings, but like it's not the current company that does Star Trek. Because sometimes
that's
that shit
entirely
happens,
possible.
Where there's just like random bits of the property that don't go over.
Yep, and like CBS is in the middle of splitting again. After like this is the second time that they've split since the end of Star Trek, and it will result in them merging with another company for like the third time. It's fucked.
Yeah, even like what's HBO and Discovery are splitting again.
Yep, it's all over the fucking place, man.
Because David Zaslav is a fucking terrible businessman.
I don't know fuck all about him, but all I know is that like these companies are a mess.
I have special beef with him because he did not renew for season 3 of Our Flag Means Death.
Fair.
Complaining that there wasn't money, even though the entire second season of the show was less money than the wardrobe budget for that stupid Sex and the City remake or
Jesus Christ
revival. Yeah,
it's because they keep pouring money into big projects and hoping for like big payoffs.
Well,
but
oh no, you know what it got canceled for? because he wanted to pivot HBO into reality TV. So you know
He
what
wanted to
we
pivot
got?
HBO into reality TV?
Yes. Well, HBO Max. Or Max.
Okay.
Actually, it's back to... Okay, it was HBO Max. They changed it to Max, and now it's back to HBO Max.
Of course.
Because, yeah, because corporations are awesome.
It's because he doesn't understand the power of his own branding.
Yeah, exactly. So here's the show that we got instead of season 3 of Our Flag Means Death. It was Human versus Hamster.
Oh.
It's a game show
Okay.
where people have to do tasks against a hamster doing the same thing.
You know what's really funny about that, Maggie? That actually sounds like a parody of a show getting canceled for something else. Like,
I know.
what you just said,
it's a 30
it got
Rock
canceled
show.
for this.
Like, it's...
I was literally just thinking that sounds
Yeah.
like something they do on 30 Rock.
Yeah. But no, like, what you just said could be a fucking skit in Family Guy or some shit.
Mm-hmm.
God damn,
Yep.
man.
Anyway, sorry. That was my... I got a little triggered there. Still have a lot of feelings about the show not getting renewed.
Little trigged.
Yeah. 'Cause they were hiring for the 3rd season. It was like the only thing was like missing was a signature. All the cast and crew were hinting about a renewal announcement coming soon. It was a thing where it was like, oh, this is definitely happening, and then the rug got pulled out from under everybody, being like, oh,
Excellent.
actually no, we're not doing season 3. People were talking about spin-offs of the fucking show. Yeah. Anyway, you should still watch
It's really
the show.
too bad because, yeah, season 2 ended really like an interesting way. So I was really looking forward to seeing where they would go from there. So it is really like a big bummer.
Yeah. What's cool though is that last Christmas, David Jenkins, who's like he interacts with the fandom like pretty regularly. But he wrote a Christmas special, essentially. Like, he wrote an episode over Blue Sky, in like various in like a Blue Sky thread. He basically like wrote what could be like the first episode of season 3.
Neat.
Yeah, because you should still watch. It's a very good show. Y'all should still watch it because the season 2 it still has a nice ending. Like, regardless of whether it got a season 3, it has a satisfying ending. Like, you know, it's not on it doesn't end on a cliffhanger or anything. But yeah, in interviews he said he wanted season 1 to be, you know, realizing you're in love. Season 2 is like just being in love. And then season 3 would be like, how do you maintain that love now? So that's sort of the direction he was planning on going for the 3rd season. Because for any of y'all listening who don't know, the show is, its other name is known as The Gay Pirate Show. So it's all about...
I was gonna say, love. Isn't this about pirates?
It is. It's extremely campy. It's very, very queer and very fun, and it's basically a rom-com between 2 middle-aged pirates.
Huh, neat.
And I highly recommend it. Anyway, sorry. That was our flag corner. Anyway, this episode is very, very devastating.
Yeah, I think this might be my favorite Troy episode ever because something bad doesn't happen to her.
Yeah.
Troy gets to go on this whole journey through the whole episode, and she gets to have a lot more agency, and I don't know, just...
Yeah, she gets to be the hero without first having a trauma.
Yeah, and her relationship with her mom was always like really interesting.
Yeah.
And the way they just kind of like, she kind of took care of her at the end was very sweet. And honestly, this was like the best Troy episode.
Yeah.
Hands down.
And I think it's a great Loxana episode as well.
Yes, it is. And like, it's weird because the episode, it also fakes you out into thinking that it's going to be like a wacky Loxana comedy, and then it's not.
Because like Dory, I didn't even clock the darker clothing before they said it in the episode. So I'm
always looking at everyone's outfits.
Yeah, that's true.
I'm always looking at what everyone's wearing. So I did immediately clock that like she's wearing a lot more subdued, because Loxana likes like a very like embellished, detailed, jewel toned outfit. So the fact that she was wearing such like dark, kind of not bland, but like
it was also
subdued.
Very like, yeah, subdued. It was also very buttoned up, because she usually has like lower necklines and stuff, and like a little bit more form fitting and all that kind of thing.
And also she normally wears like bigger like accessories and stuff too. This was just very, very uncharacteristically toned down. So I just and I knew that she was going to fall into a coma, and I just kept waiting.
Oh, yeah, that's
I was
right.
like, when is like everything that kept happening every time she was like put her head in her hands, I was like, oh my god, is she going to fall on the ground? Is this it? Is this it? And yeah, truly, I don't love that. Like, also, I think they mention it, but I'm not entirely certain, because like I don't know. I just couldn't pull myself to go back and double check what I thought I heard. Is the reason that she's having this now is because they're in like the same area that it previously happened?
No, because what I'm thinking is that there's a combination of factors. I think like,
Okay.
you know, at the end where they switch the actress from Kirsten Dunst to a different one, I think it's to imply
You think that Kirsten Dunst just triggered it for her?
Yeah, because she looks a lot like the other daughter. I think that's what it is.
Kestra?
I think Kirsten Dunst reminds her of Kestra, and her defenses are weakened by having to do so much telepathy work with this species. So I think that's kind of why it's happening now.
It's not specifically that her defenses are weakened by having to do so much telepathy with them. It's her defenses are down for that particular thing because of the way that they communicate telepathically, which is different from how she normally does it.
Yeah,
she's speaking telepathically all the time.
No, but yeah, that's what I mean. Is like that. Okay. First of all, like this little girl reminds her of Kestra, so she has her on her mind, and she's doing this work that's like extremely open, right? Because they say like they don't have privacy and secrets from each other, right? So she's having to do extra work to try to hide this part of herself, this memory, because the guy's daughter is bringing the memory to the forefront. So she, like, not only does she have to hide this part of herself, but it's being brought forward because the little girl looks so much like her.
Right,
so,
right.
And then that's when she falls unconscious, is when Kirsten Dunst goes in the water.
Yeah, exactly. So it's just like this all these compounding factors is kind of why it's happening right now.
Because I vaguely remember someone saying like, "Oh, this happened last time you were in this area," but I couldn't pull myself to just replay it. Just kept going. But one thing I didn't love, though, is that we have another episode focused on a woman, but she still gets trauma. So like I'm glad it wasn't Troy, but still that like Loxana gets like there's like an episode where she gets to be a main focus, but it is about her coping with a trauma that also didn't really happen. Like it didn't happen to her technically. Like her daughter drowned, but it's something that happened to someone else.
I mean, that's
if
pretty
that like obviously like
like that's
no, but like
traumatic.
saying no, I'm not saying it's not. I'm just saying that like it is that like they gave her they gave just a woman another traumatic event that is. Sorry, I'm not explaining this well. It's like so often we see stuff with women related to their husbands and their children. So that's what I'm sort of getting at, is that her storyline, her focus on the traumatic event was her child.
Yeah.
So it's another thing of like, it's a traumatic event to, not to her, but to her child, because women's stories always have to do with a man or their child.
Yeah. I was going to bring up that point. I was going to bring up that point also, where it's like,
so I wasn't articulating very well.
Yeah, they gave her like a little bit more of an they gave her a little bit more interesting of a thing than what TV shows normally do. But it still has to do with her being a mother, right?
Yes.
It's like it's still, women are only allowed to like their mothers or sex objects, right? So it's still like sort of not branching out very far.
Yeah.
Which is kind of...
I think I'm okay with that in this instance, just because Lwaxana being a mother is such an integral part of her character in this show.
Yeah, but they do that to a lot of women.
Oh, I know. I just mean with Lwaxana specifically.
Yeah, because I agree with Dory that I don't particularly love that it's like, oh great, we're just torturing a woman again. In a different way, but like still. However, I personally give it a little bit of a pass because, number one, they did it very well, and I felt like they did it in like a... To me, it didn't feel like exploitative or gross. Like, it felt very organic and natural and whatever.
Yeah, like I agree. I thought this was a very good episode, and I don't have I don't love that it was that way, but I'm like,
yeah,
it's fine. Like it's not the biggest. It's just too bad they went that route. That's all. Like it's not the end of the world that they did that, but I do wish that they.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. The sorry, I just wanted, because there were two things that I really liked, or the two things that I feel like make this specific instance work for me, even though I have those criticisms of it, is number one, I said that like I felt they did it very well, and the other one is that I felt like giving this to Lwaxana is a really great move, because her entire, like every other time we've seen her character is like just sort of as like a comedic folly sort of thing, and to give her this like really grounded real thing, I thought was like really great to give to the character, especially someone who we think of as like just very like, you know, kind of like they kind of make her seem like shallow and like just, you know, frivolous and that sort of thing. So I thought giving her something this grounded and real was great. But I do still have those criticisms that it's like, okay, we're just torturing a woman again. Okay, this is all about her motherhood and stuff. That sort of thing. Anyways.
There was a single line delivery that I thought was not good, and it really frustrated me. Mm-hmm. It was only one line delivery, and it was by Lwaxana in the middle of her being really upset as she's like finally facing this child issue for like the first time, where she says one thing like, it just like this, it's too hard for me, and then she stops and says, I can't, and she says it in like almost a deadpan way, and I'm like, was that your best take of that particular line? And I don't know, I thought that was weird. I don't know if it stood out to you guys or not, but
I'll be honest,
it was something that I noticed, and it kind of annoyed me.
I'll be honest, I didn't notice at all. I didn't...
Yeah? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was too busy crying.
Yeah. Yeah, to be honest.
Fair enough.
I could barely hear the lines over my sobs.
Yeah. I'll have to watch it again, but like when I was watching it, it didn't stand out to me, no.
Okay.
All right, so I think we should move on to favorite moments in lines.
I like Lwaxana and Troy at the end. The last scene when Lwaxana's back in her fun clothes and she's going to tell Troy all about Kestra. I think that was really sweet.
Yeah.
I think the scene with Troy and Ian was really good.
Yeah.
Like, Troy's incredible. Like, Troy, honestly, she had a lot of great moments in this.
Mm-hmm.
And then I guess in terms of lines, I like Troy says when she's gone through all the journals, or the last 5 years of journals, and Troy goes, I've gone through all of her belongings. I've read her journal for the last 5 years, and nothing bad seems to have happened to her. Sorry. Other than the fact that I'm not married yet, nothing bad seems to have happened to her.
Also, I gotta say, though, even though I like Loxana, I fucking hate that whole thing of, like, usually your parents or whatever. My parents aren't like this, but this is, like, it's a trope and also, like, a thing real parents do, where it's like, I don't give a shit who, just get married. And I'm like, don't you want them to be married to, like, a good partner, not just anybody?
No.
Yeah. So, sorry, that shit, like, in general just annoys me. But, it is funny in this episode. Yeah. But I just wanted to make a note that, that shit is annoying.
Oh, yes, 100% agree. I did just remember another part that I liked when Loxana goes up to Riker and Troy at the very beginning. So Riker and Worf at the beginning. Mm-hmm. And Loxana says, aren't you going to mingle, Mr. Wolf? And Worf just, like, all of the willpower he has ever accumulated over his life to to just, like, be polite and not, like, react as he normally would.
She is being rude as fuck, though, I will say.
Yes. Yeah, she is. Because she knows his name. She's met him a bajillion times now.
She has, like, that relationship with Alexander now, too.
Oh, yeah. I forgot there's that whole episode, them in, like, a hot tub.
Yeah. Or in like, a mud tub or whatever.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that episode exists.
Yeah. God, I forgot about that. Yeah. Oh, God.
Yeah, my favorite stuff it's not much different than yours. Because, like, this... At least to me, this episode isn't really, like, moments so much, I guess. The scene with her dad is just devastating. And we also find out that Troy is she's a daddy daughter. Like, she calls her dad daddy. Mm-hmm. I'm not trying to be gross or weird, I'm just like, that is a notable thing. Yeah, I think that's my main thing. Like, obviously that last scene where Loxana is, like, finally saying what happened is incredible, but, like, yeah, I think my favorite is probably the scene with her dad, just because, like, that's also just devastating, especially to, like, for Troy to, like, have enough willpower to, like, turn her back on that scenario, to, like, turn her back on being able to, like, it, like, regardless of whether it's just, like, the version of her dad in her mom's head, like, to turn her back onto having another opportunity to talk to her dad is pretty incredible, I'd say. Mm-hmm. So yeah, that was my favorite bit.
Mine is definitely the guy who gets stuck in the elevator between Loxana and Deanna arguing.
Oh yeah.
I felt so bad for that guy in that moment. I was like, oh buddy, you are in for a world of pain. And then she had her pain thing. My other favorite thing about this episode is that after 35 years, whatever, I don't know how young I was when I saw the episode, I finally understand the title because I just didn't think about it for so fucking long. Because me being a huge fucking nerd, when I saw Dark Page, I was like, oh yeah, a page, like you know, like a fucking what do you call it? Like a church assistant. Oh, it's an evil church assistant.
Oh, a page.
Oh my god.
Oh, gotcha.
And I don't know why that's what I thought. Maybe because I played too many fucking fantasy games or some shit like that when I was a kid. But
probably.
Like, that was my thought for years and years and years, and I just didn't think about it any harder. I was like, that's a weird title, and then just never again. And now that we're sitting here actually analyzing the episode, I'm like, it's like a page in the book of her life.
Yeah, like one of her
fuck?
like one of her deleted journal pages, a dark page.
And yes, but like
Page
what
that
it
has
fucking comes
gone
down to is that I was just too young when I heard it, made
Yeah.
one association, and that's it. Never questioned that association again. So that's my favorite part about this episode, the fact that
Okay.
I finally understand the title.
That's hilarious. So you're thinking
Thank
page
you.
like a page boy. Yeah,
Yes, exactly.
that's really funny.
Thank you.
Also that's a crazy association to make, because who thinks
I have
of
no
a,
idea
like,
why.
of like a page, the person, as opposed to like a book page.
I think the reason for it is that you don't really think of like the page of a book in terms of color. But I mean, me playing all of these fucking RPGs and whatnot when I was a kid, you think of, a page is someone who's like part of like a church thing. Churches
Yeah.
are big in like magic stuff in what do you call it, in some like RPGs, fantasy stuff and whatnot. And so a dark page, oh no, he's lurking in the shadows or something like that. And I'm like, that doesn't make any sense. Shrug. Oh well.
Yeah, because to me, dark page.
But you
it's
know
like,
how
you know,
it is.
Like, no, because to me, there's like, oh, it was a dark page in history, or like dark pages is like, oh, this is like part of a magic spell book, where this is like dark magic and stuff.
You know what?
That's like my
literally,
first association.
literally before I heard the term dark page in history, I'm sure. Like that is how young I was when I saw this. TNG started the month that I was born. My mom was taping it when I was a kid. And
Yeah.
so like I had very little experience when I would have been like 6 or 7 when this episode came out, and I would have seen it. I don't know if I would have remembered it, but the title might have gone into my head and I might have just associated with whatever the fuck I was doing at the time.
I feel like that's
Which I don't know
still
what I was
impressive
doing, playing
for-
Ultima.
Yeah, I think that's still impressive for a child to because page in a book is like you learn that word before you learn the word for like a religious page or a political page.
Yeah. Now, I don't know if I made the association the first time I saw it or I made the association in my teens when I rewatched everything, but like
Could be.
I don't know, man. That is the association I made for whatever reason, likely because of whatever other content I was consuming at the time. And it just stuck with me for years and years and years. And as we were coming up to the episode, I was like, "Oh yeah, it's that one with the title I never understood." Oh well.
Yeah.
And now I'm sitting here finally thinking about it.
That's funny. When did it click? Did it click when you were watching the episode, or as we were doing the podcast, as we were recording?
It actually clicked on me a week or two ago when we were approaching it and like discussing what it was that was coming up.
Oh, when we were doing the prediction.
And then as
for
we
it.
watched it, or as I watched it, I thought about it again and was like, "Oh my god, right, that." God
Alrighty,
damn.
Okay, now, speaking of, let's move on to predictions for the next episode. So, Dory, you know how a lot of times we'll say like, "Oh, this is a Data episode. This is a Geordi episode." Well, this episode is focused on 2 people. So this is a
Okay.
Picard and Dr. Crusher episode. And the episode is called Attached.
Oh my god.
Yeah. So I don't want to give you too much hope, but I feel like this will intrigue you. So Captain Picard and Dr. Crusher are kidnapped by aliens. And during their they must attempt to escape, and in the process they explore their
Make out.
connection. So I will say I don't want to give you false hope, but there is a lot of good
No, let me have
Picard Crusher stuff.
Oh, oh my goodness. Oh my god. Okay. Oh my god. Because initially, okay, when you said attached, my first thought was, oh my god, are they going to fuse or something? That would be awkward.
Yeah, they're gonna become Crusher.
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 But now, with the word attached, my guess is they're probably like handcuffed or something together, because they've been kidnapped. They obviously, I feel like, and they're doing an escape. Mm-hmm. I feel like they're probably like handcuffed or something. Yeah, that. Mm-hmm. Oh God, and they have to escape.
So, I will say,
oh God.
I will say explore the handcuffed idea, but make it sci-fi.
Laser handcuffs. They just kind of colorful light floats around the wrist. Mm-hmm. Okay, so what am I guessing exactly?
Oh yeah, I guess
what am I?
Why do you think they get kidnapped? And what do you think comes out of this exploration of their connection to each other?
There's what I think and what I want. Those are two different things.
You can say both. You can say what you want and what you think will happen.
I realistically, I think Star Trek will do what they love to do, which is fuck with my emotions. And they will have this whole episode. They will basically be dangling this possible romance in front of my face. And then they'll end the episode being like, well, I guess we're just friends. And then that's it. They never actually pursue anything. That's my guess. And then there's never any acknowledgement after. That's what I honestly guess is what they're going to do, because they love to fucking pull this shit.
Yeah. They love to give you nothing you want.
They like to give me something that I want, but then immediately take it away.
Yeah.
It's like they're dangling food over my face, but they don't want to, but like they drop it on my eyes.
Yeah. It's like when you have the dangling carrot in front of like your horse or whatever, and they keep chasing it, but it stays the same distance from you.
But then they tie like a dead bird to it. And you're like, well, what am I supposed to do with this? You're stopping me dead in my tracks with this. So, what I'd love to do is like them finally in like a life-death situation that they're like, maybe we should actually, figure this out and be together forever. Or at least fuck or something. I don't know. Or date till the end of the show, or no date, just or maybe they decide maybe this isn't a good time, and then in the series finale they decide actually now is a good time. Oh, okay, I do have an idea in terms of like additional stakes. Here we go. Yeah? Okay. What if Dr. C is being offered another position on a different ship? And this is now upset Picard, because he's like, but we have such like a good thing going. And she's like, what are we fucking doing here though? Like, why are you so like against me moving on and like going to a different ship or like a different position that's maybe higher up than where she is? So maybe not on a different ship, but maybe something at like headquarters or something. And then when they get kidnapped, it's also sort of a point of contention of her being like, why are you fucking being like this? And they literally have nothing else to do other than to just like talk about it. And that's when he's like, Dr. C, as he calls her Dr. C. No, he doesn't I call her Dr. C. Yeah. He calls her Beverly. And then he's like, but then I wouldn't see you. And then he's forced to admit his feelings, and she's forced to admit her feelings. And this is starting to sound like a fan fiction that I'd love for someone to write. Or probably, honestly, it's probably written already.
Yeah. I mean, I'm sure. Star Trek fan fiction is fan fiction culture. Like, that is where there have been things before it. Like Sherlock is technically like the first modern fandom, but Star Trek is like really, really like the modern fandom. Like, that is where what we think of as fandom and fan fiction began.
Yeah.
Like, in the form it is currently.
So I hope that, is that enough to kind of go on
Yes. Yes, I think so.
as a prediction? Okay, good.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, if you want to see if Dory's correct, if you want to see if her wish comes true, or if it doesn't, watch along with us and join us for the next episode of Fully Functional, a TNG podcast.
Goodbye.